All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage current drama. We also talk about superstar news, inactive statuses, injury updates, contract negotiations. We talk about extensions, also, new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to TNA to NXT, to Ring of Honor, also New Japan Professional Wrestling, to AEW. If it makes major news headlines in the world of professional sports, we talk about it here on this show, 1010%. Remember to subscribe to the GSMC Sports Network and hit that like button and follow the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, especially if you're a wrestling fan. All right, so now we're going to talk about some New Japan Professional Wrestling. Uh, you know, um, Watching these matches, I gotta be honest. Super great. I don't really have any really have any criticisms behind it. But I think you know, New Japan Professional Wrestling and Stardom, a lot of international wrestling, kind of I feel like it kind of, goes to my roots a little bit more, and I don't want to say like because WWE is so mainstream and it's been so digitalized that it's like, you can't really have that home for some good old fashioned like wrestling, like you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but that's just my opinion. If you want to find some some old school style wrestling, kind of a nice little nostalgic with top tier superstars, matches and storylines. New Japan Professional Wrestling is amazing. It's definitely been around for such a long time. It's been successful in the world of Japan, well, all over the world to be honest. You have a lot of great superstars that come out of New Japan Professional Wrestling, not necessarily part of the Asian descent, obviously, what you kind of got from like AJ Styles, like you got from Will Ospreay, as well as King Ricochet, Prince Puma, or I guess was his name, Prince Puma. There's a lot of great wrestlers like Konosuke Takeshita as well, Katsuyori Shibata, great AEW wrestlers that are killing it. And I don't know. It's also Shinsuke Nakamura. Can't forget the AEW Continental Champion Kaz Okada. So I don't know. It's really great. It's definitely really great. 1010%. A lot of people actually they come to New Japan Professional Wrestling, kind of find that passion again. You had the same thing done with Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné. So definitely also the Young Bucks as well. A lot of good things. Eddie Kingston's good too. A lot of wrestlers, that are just very prominent in the world of New Japan Professional Wrestling. All right, New Japan Professional Wrestling's King of Pro Wrestling. We had Hiromu Takahashi defeat Mystico. We also had an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship between the Intergalactic Jet Setters defeating the Bullet Club War Dogs. The IWGP Tag Team Championships, TMDK retained against the Rogue Army, Great Khan and Haner. Challenge for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Then we had a NEVER Openweight Championship match between Shingo Takagi, retained his match against Ryohei. Oh my God, what is that name? Oh, God dang it! God dang it! I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. But I heard this match was actually one of the best ones. And Tagachi, after watching highlights and stuff like that, I love how he's so like he could be a dominant superstar, but he could also, kind of what I was talking about, like in terms of WWE, how like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill just look like they tower over their competition, or they're just their skill sets. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to be like physically equal or physically intimidated and stuff like that. But I definitely love how Tagachi, he dictates a lot of his matchups. He definitely made I can't pronounce his name look good. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Next, we have New Japan Professional Wrestling World Television Championship. Ren Narita defeated Jeff Cobb, the defending champion, and Yota Tsuji. I like Jeff Cobb. I know Jeff Cobb, especially during oh my God, what was that pay-per-view where he felt like he was kind of left out? I can't remember. Oh my God, it's gonna kill me. But I like Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is a great wrestler. There's no doubt in my mind. I feel like he's probably, you know, maybe finding a way to get his way to Ring of Honor, maybe to finally get his way back into AEW. There's no doubt in my mind that this guy's, he's a star in the making. I doubt CMLL. Like, I really honestly doubt he's gonna go to CMLL. But ultimately, I feel like this isn't the end of his title reigns. I feel like it's only the beginning. You know, he kind of has that nonchalant attitude that I kind of like. Like, it seems like he cares, but he doesn't care. Seems like, he's that guy you hate to love and the guy you love to hate. Like, you know what I mean? So, Jeff Cobb is definitely, prominent within the world of professional wrestling, Tony Khan's promotion. So, we'd love to see him kind of hold more gold there. But that's, my opinion, 1000%. Next, we see the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Buck, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson announced that they will be at New Japan Professional Wrestling and AEW's Wrestle Dynasty. That should be pretty badass. Obviously, we kind of got a taste of what happened. We had Forbidden Door, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was great. And I can't wait to see these guys come together and kind of have more, kind of have a lot more promotions and stuff like that. Have a lot more, PLEs because just the different styles of wrestling that you have to like constantly be wrapping your head around watching these guys perform what they do inside the ring, and they're damn good at it. The way they kind of manipulate the clock, the way they manipulate the fans to kind of get them into it. It seems like it's slow, it's steady, but at the same time, you're highly invested. I could honestly say a lot of wrestlers, and I'm not going to name any names. When they're inside the ring and they're having matches and stuff like that, and you're just kind of like sitting there, you're like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Once again, kind of, kind of shading some goodness and, giving a lot of props to New Japan Professional Wrestling because every single time they're inside the squared circle, it's a match willing to wait for. It's a match willing to be patient and watch for the outcome. And yeah, definitely, that's super cool, super damn cool, super damn cool. All right, we have the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion David Finlay retained his title against Hiroki Gudo. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, we saw Douki, the champion, defeat Sho or SHO. And of course, we have Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming up with Shota Umino and El Fantasma defeats House of Torture. Obviously, kind of what I was alluding to a little bit earlier when I pressed the wrong thing there. We have a legend. Tanahashi makes his retirement announcement at Professional Wrestling Kingdom. 25 years in the business. That's a long time. That's, a very long time. Probably got into wrestling, maybe his mid 20s, maybe, perhaps maybe earlier than that. But overall, I feel like the world of wrestling is going to miss him, but he's not going to be too far away. The A's confirmed that his final match will be at Wrestle Kingdom 20 January 4th, 2020, 2025, I think it was. Or 2026. I'm not too sure. I gotta revamp that. He will be part of New Japan Professional Wrestling's company president, and of course, he kind of laid out his plans of strengthening his company's ties with AEW and Stardom, which is exactly what you probably should do. This new deal with Tony Khan is going to ultimately put your professional wrestling product higher and kind of send it into stars that it never really seemed like it could reach before. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Next, we have Tatsuya Naito loses his championship against Zack Sabre Jr. Sabre Jr.'s, I got to be honest, I thought he was going to achieve success a lot earlier, but now that he has, he defeated Naito, and he was the one who dethroned John Moxley for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So this guy, he was a boss. He's on the map of being one of the greatest wrestlers right now in the business. For Sabre Jr. to kind of wind up on top, definitely gotta love, definitely gotta throw some respect there. I definitely think he's gonna represent the title. He's gonna represent the company super well. So if I'm New Japan Professional Wrestling, if I'm a fan, just know that you're get ready for a nice, long, healthy title run because Zack Sabre Jr. is definitely this next level wrestler that Tony Khan's promotion definitely loves. And New Japan Professional Wrestling, like I mentioned, Tanahashi making his retirement, he loves Zack Sabre Jr. So, behind, I don't know if it's projected that much, on the screen, but, behind the scenes, it seems like it just works so damn well. Just works so damn well. So, once again, New Japan Professional Wrestling, King of Professional Wrestling 2024 happened, and I felt like it happened because I clicked on my computer like around like 8:30 a.m. And I was like, oh, October 14th. And I was like, what? That's crazy. But Japan from California is about 16 hours away. 16 hours away. So tonight, I think it's like almost like, damn, it's almost like 1 or 2 o'clock right now in the afternoon. So they kind of have their things, they kind of have their PLEs before, over there it'd be natural to kind of have it around 3 or 4 or 5. So before we even wake up, and it's crazy, it seems like it happened in the future, but in reality, it's just the time zones. So, I was definitely tripped out finding that out because I was like, because I got a notification from my ringside news that Matthew and Nicholas Jackson announced on New Japan Professional Wrestling's King of Pro Wrestling that they're going to return. And I got that. I was like, dude, didn't these guys just like fight in Tacoma, Washington, like literally like 36 hours ago or even shorter than that? So I thought that was I thought that was a giant trip. I thought it was kind of, at first I kind of felt stupid. I was like, Eric, come on, dude, like time zones, man, time zones. So I don't know. I was able to kind of bounce back, and I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny. All right, guys. So, hey, that's it for me today. Once again, hope you guys had an amazing, safe, lovely weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1010%. Once again, criticism is part of the game of sports. So, obviously, we do love feedback. Feedback is a gift, whether it's negative or positive. We can have a nice little conversation about it. Definitely love that you guys are willing to give me your time. Obviously, appreciate it. Remember to follow us on the GSMC Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, and Instagram. Just for more content and updates. We have a lot of awesome podcasters. Like I say, every single show, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we got 2 football podcasts. The NFL is heating up. We got the GSMC football podcast with my boy Kenneth, and we got the Chip Shot football podcast with my boy Manny. We got the NBA right around the corner, and the WNBA playoffs. The finals coming around the corner. Make sure you tune into the GSMC basketball podcast for all the hottest news, all the latest updates, and also follow Tommy's GSMC college football podcast every Saturday. Is full of surprises with all these schools. Kind of, some of them are shocking. Usually, in terms of you kind of out of all the division or the conferences, you kind of have your like 2 or 3 favorites. But I don't know. It seems like it's kind of wide open nowadays. Like, and I'm trying to get into college football. One step at a time. Of course, when it comes to football, college or the NFL. You gotta love fantasy sports, your fantasy football. Join my boy Chris Shepard on the GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast. Find out your startums, your sit-ups, who to maybe pick up off the waiver wire, who to drop. If your team is doing terrible, make sure you tune into the Chris Shepard GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast. Find out how to make your team WWE champions. Make sure you tune into that. So yeah, we also have all around sports with my boy Jeremy with Sports by GSMC and TJ with GSMC Sports Podcast. All these guys who have an amazing passion for sports, have an amazing skill as podcasters. They definitely draw an audience in. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will never, ever, ever regret subscribing to these podcasts because these guys are amazing. I watch them too. I learn from them, entertained 1,010% of the time. So make sure you invest some time, be a part of this GSMC sports bloodline. Once again, that's it for me tonight. I hope you guys had an amazing Monday. I know Mondays can be hard, gearing up for the whole week. But, we got some awesome wrestling to kind of help us, get us through it. Tune into the GSMC Soccer Podcast. Got my boy Emran if you're a soccer fan, or if you're getting into soccer, make sure you tune in. Stay on this podcast, stay on this sports network for 5 minutes away. Make sure you tune into one of the best soccer podcasts in the sports entertainment industry right now. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, I love you.